Okay, hi everybody. Good morning and welcome to SA Rugby Magazine's analysis of the Barbarians and the British and Irish Lions. Let's start with the British and Irish Lions. It's a quick one.
What about him?
Are they going to lose 2 in a row?
No. I think they're going to smash the Western Force in Perth on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
They've picked quite a power-packed team. Have the British and Irish Lions.
Yeah.
And that Western Force team have just lost Kurtley Beale to a hamstring injury. They've had to rush. They've had to rush back Ben Donaldson to play for them. And the Force, I think, won four matches in Super Rugby this season. So they're not really living up to their name.
But they've released 5 Wallabies.
Yeah, 6 guys in the Wallaby squad. 5 of them are Wallabies. They've got Ben Donaldson, they've got Nick White, they've got Dylan Pitch, and they've got Darcy Swain and Todd Robertson. So they've got players who are in the Australia setup.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't think they're going to have the firepower to slow down a Lions team that is going to be pretty focused after that.
And they should be, well, they've had another week to be together. Don't underestimate that. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
As a tour grows, you're supposed to grow in camaraderie, strength, understanding each other. So the bookies have it at about 25, 26 and a half.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on 26 and a half? That's with Betway.
That is a lot.
Who I do all my betting with.
That is a lot, Kev. But I think the Lions are going to be good for that. I think we just go back and look at previous Lions tours, and I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I think the Western Force have played the Lions once before and lost 69-7 or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be one of those things that the opening spell will be quite competitive, and then I think the Lions will stretch their legs and pretty much take it away. I expect them to beat them convincingly. I think they'd be good for that handicap.
You think so?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I guess they should be. I mean, the thought is they should be. Then you might want to just look at the over 57 points at 1.8, but I don't know, man. It's
over 57. Sure.
I wouldn't want to bet on this game. I think that if you're going to bet, that the Lions will cover by 25 and a half. You know,
right.
It's just 4 tries, and that could happen at any time.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Western Force haven't. I mean, is there 30 rugby players in Australia?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, what's going to come off the bench for the Western Force is Marty Pierce, Nick Dolly, Tian Tau Kapelu, Lepeti Faifu. I mean, I'm slaughtering everybody's name here, but you haven't heard of these guys. Who's Max Bury? Bailey Kunsley. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I suppose you have to be the pessimist here and say that this should be a run out for the British and Irish Lions. So. If it isn't, then I would say they got some deep.
Heaps of trouble.
Heaps of trouble. Well, you put it. They were 17.5 point favorites to beat the Pumas.
I mean, how? How in the world were they ever going to put at least an 18-point win over the Pumas? Impossible. It was never going to happen. They shouldn't have been favorites in that game, period.
Ah, come on.
No, I wasn't surprised that they lost. I got to admit it. I
wasn't surprised that they lost as well. I was amazed by the 17.5 points they were given.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Add their 4 points to it. They won by 4?
Yeah.
28-24?
Yeah.
And, that was shocking.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes the bookies get it wrong,
and you got to be there for those moments, right, to make some money.
I was off last week, so I didn't really, I didn't bet on the game. I watched it. It was fun to watch. But so we're both saying that the British and Irish Lions should cruise 25.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, call off the tournament.
Yeah. Somebody's going to make money there.
Well, the 3 tests are all sold out, so there's certainly interest in that.
Great.
And the British and Irish Lions are 1.35 favorites for the first test. Until the bookies get an understanding of what's.
Do you think that's going to change based on these results? I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is the Lions are going to smash these provincial teams, and those odds are going to stretch, or no?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Depends on the injuries, cards in the games, who's not available, who's available. You know, you look at the world of rugby right now. France isn't even sending an A team to New Zealand. You know, no one was released for this game. I mean, the game we're going to talk about now, the Babas and the Springboks.
Yeah.
No one was released. We don't even know who's playing. but I don't think it matters.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. When you look at the Springbok team,
right,
you've got Fassi, you've got Colby, you've got Creel, Delander, Kurtley Arendse,
yeah,
Sasha.
Yeah.
You've got Monombi,
yeah,
Vandenberg, Jean-Luc Dupree. You've got Lut de Jager, Sia Khaleesi, Malcolm Marks, Oxenche. You've got a typical Bok team.
Yep.
They're not taking the occasion and saying we're going to play, and it got a 20-25% chance of raining. So I wouldn't say the conditions are going to be horrible, because that's a good drainage pitch.
Yeah.
I know it's rained for a couple of days now in Cape Town, but I just see that the Boks are putting out a Bok team, and they're just going to go through the gears, go through the tight five, and just keep going and going and going. And what that does, and if you get a Barbars type thing where they're just throwing the ball around, they're going to be making tons of mistakes, I think,
True that.
And I just think the Boks are going to put up a massive score. And there's only one betting site, and it's not Betway. They haven't come out with odds on the haven't come out with odds, but World Sports Betting has come out with 17 to 20, 85 cents on your dollar, coming back if the Boks win by more than 14.5. I see the Boks winning by 30.
Wow. Nice.
That's what I see.
Okay.
I know your T-shirt says Boks by 10.
Yeah, I think I had Boks by around 20, so 30. I mean, look, it could happen, mate. My sort of reduced margin was based on the fact that the weather isn't going to play ball. But like you say, I mean, does it really matter on these artificial pitches? And
when you got go forward ball like they'll have.
Yeah, and other teams making mistakes. You got Ches and Colby around and Kurt Aronson.
Well, the other team doesn't have a tight five, as far as I can see.
I mean, they've got good players, but they're experienced guys towards the sort of twilight of their career, some of them, and they've been put together at the last second. And there's not really anything to. I mean, this is going to be a boozy week for those guys, and not really a hell of a lot to play.
Well, we saw what happens to a team that's put together in a week.
Yeah.
With the Lions.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
And they are that team is polished, and they've just come off a season. They're rugby fit. And they were put to the sword by Argentina.
In Dublin against Argentina.
Yeah.
These guys are playing the world champs in Cape Town. No, 100%.
Would you want to put on that uniform?
No, mate. Nowhere near it.
No, thanks.
Nowhere near it.
Here, coach.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Kev.
So I see an absolute bloodbath.
Okay.
I really
Give me
do.
a score, because you say 30 points. What does that look like?
To me, it would look like 55.
25.
55-20.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If
I like that.
55-20. An absolute drumming.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's no way to talk this game up. It's going to be a spectacle for the fans from a Bok point of view. You can talk about this team, the Baba team, all you want, though we don't know what it is. But it doesn't matter who it is. There's all the players for France. Nobody from France can come. Wales don't have
They've got some French players, just not the French national team, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah. And the Welsh don't have any players of note.
Yeah.
British and Irish Lions tour. So who is going to fill in for these things? So
they've got Ruben van Heerden is the one lock and David Ribbons is the other. So two South African locks in the second row. But yeah, it is a team. They've got some talented guys. It's mostly a team built on experience. I think the average age is around 29.
Yeah.
And about 5 or 6 guys that have never played Test rugby before.
Yeah.
But like you say, there's no A-line or there's limited A-line, A-list players there. So
what do you see, bud?
Yeah, I agree with you, Kev. I think definitely the Boks are going to win, and I think it's going to be a convincing win. The margin I'm not so sure about. I've got it at around 20, but that's kind of looking at the weather and the conditions and the Boks in their first match of the season. A potential bit of ring rust there, but I wouldn't be shocked to see the Boks win 55-20. I think that's a good call.
Yeah, so I guess
definitely to cover the spread, right?
To cover the spread of 14.5. You can get 14.5 right now. Get in and take it.
Take it.
It won't be there tomorrow before kickoff. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that the 14.5 will not be there. It'll be higher. So sell out of the bet. You don't even have to play.
Yeah, right.
That has to be the bet for me.
Great.
Anything else to say?
That's it.
Is that all you want to say?
That's it, mate. That's great. That was good. Yeah.
Okay. Then we've called it again. I mean, we were right about the last time we were on air. I was right about Bath not beating who they played? Saints, was it?
Leicester.
Leicester.
Yeah.
I was right that they wouldn't win by more than 9.5. I think they won by 2 or 4. And I was right that
you made money that weekend, mate.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Very good.
Even a broken watch will tell the time right twice a day, eh?
What are your thoughts on the Boks for the season ahead? I mean, do you think this is the start of a long run of wins? I mean, obviously Italy and Georgia on their way, and then the rugby championship.
Look, Italy have improved a little bit, you know. So Italy to me will be the more of a warm up than Georgia. I don't know the state of Georgia. Georgia will be its typical tight five and try and spoil the games. Australia shouldn't pose any problems here. They'll be beaten up after British and Irish Lions test.
Do you have the Lions to win that series?
Yeah,
Really, eh?
of course.
Wow. Okay.
There's nobody in Australia. I mean,
okay.
yeah, I do. I've got them to win at 3-0.
That's going to be fun chats.
Oh well, you know, it started. Started. I think that the one I don't know about and nobody knows about is us in New Zealand, and then there's one hell of a tour at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think to give the South African public a bit more fluff going into next year's rivalry tour and everything, because it's a massive year of rugby next year.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to split one of the games there. I think that it's unrealistic for us to think we're going to win 2-0. You've got Scott Robertson now that's had a year with that team.
Yeah.
He's no mug. So, you know, I know you, Mark, have been watching Super Rugby. I haven't watched much of it, but I keep it on if it's on TV. But I'm like one of those other millions of people tuning out of DSTV. You know? So I don't have any idea. And I think that it's one of the good things in world rugby that the All Blacks are mystery right now.
Totally.
You know?
They definitely are. I mean, you got to expect them to bounce back, but you kind of look at...
Why? Because of the All Blacks.
Because they're the All Blacks and they're just a nation that produces great players. But when you look at the makeup of that squad and the makeup of the squad last year, there's not a lot of difference.
No.
So you kind of go, well, how have they solved any of those issues? You know,
well, this is the
who's coming
thing.
in?
I think Mark's very positive about them this year in his talks with you, and I don't see it. You know, I'm more concerned with what the Boks will do with an aging team, and then the replacements that'll come in, and how we manage that. Because in 2 years' time, we've got another Rugby World Cup. And like I said, next year you've got New Zealand here for 8 games, which is going to captivate. It's bigger than a British and Irish Lions tour.
Huge. It's the biggest thing in rugby. It's the top 2 teams in the world, if you think about it.
For 8 games.
Wow.
I know, it's
Wow.
mouth-watering. You can see I've got an erection underneath here. Fully fledged.
Amazing.
0 to midnight.
Thanks for sharing.
I'm kidding. I haven't taken the blue pill yet. But no, it is mouth-watering. Huh? So I would hope that the Springboks continue to run a success through to Italy, Georgia, Australia, and then split one in New Zealand. I'd be happy with that. If we win 2, wow, then we are the champions. We can all Freddie Mercury it to death, you know? But what do you think?
I mean, I think we're a long way off. My gut feeling is that the Boks will do well to win one over there. You don't just go win in New Zealand. I don't care how bad New Zealand is. We managed to beat the All Blacks when they came to visit South Africa when we weren't necessarily at our peak of powers. So I think it's a tough place to go and win. But I think the Boks are very much focused on that. I think it really is a big test. And I think Russie's probably laid that thing out.
And I think that's why the Georgia-Italy thing plays into our hands is he can experiment.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
So it'll be a hell of a 2 test in New Zealand.
We're the least exposed to injury disruption because we've got so much depth. So
the team that interests me is, to be honest with you, besides we know we're going to get from Australia.
Yeah. Argentina.
Fuck all.
Yeah.
Nothing. Is Argentina. We don't. That's an interesting team.
I love those guys, man.
I know you can't help but
love Argentina.
Yeah,
Man.
mini Fustos, little hard men, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's an interesting year. I wouldn't bet my house on a 2-0 win. I'd be happy with a 1-1 split.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, let's take that to the bank, and hopefully we'll keep you updated on the rugby betting. And but on WSB right now, I don't bet with them, but you can get 85 cents for minus 14.5 on the Boks. You got to jump on that. He's 6 over that. I am
26 or 16 over
16
that.
over
Yeah,
that.
maybe more.
Yeah,
19.
but it won't be that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I speak, bookies listen. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Sels.
Nice.